I mean, one of the things about, science fiction, which is a kind of future studies, it's a way of rehearsing the future. It's a way of making scenarios of what could be. Um, Most of them are dystopian these days. So I can't even think of a single science fiction movie other than Star Trek, perhaps, which is not on this planet, but of a movie on this planet where there's a future that you want to live in. It's like, oh, I want to live there. Um, and that's because so it's very difficult to kind of imagine that. This also makes terrible movies because it'd be boring, right? I mean, so the conflict and drama comes from the dystopia. So that's what we get because they're very good at telling stories. But I think it's important that we have a positive view of the future because it makes it easier to kind of make it. Um, but it is difficult to imagine a world in which we have ubiquitous AI and ubiquitous tracking and ubiquitous gene editing, and that's a future that we want to live in. But I think it's possible to articulate that. And uh, the idea that humans will disappear, I think, um, if it's technological, what that doesn't really explain, that scenario doesn't explain, is how why people work on this problem or how this comes about. There's this the thing about new technologies is that they have all these intermediate versions. They just don't appear. I mean, nothing appears fully and it works. I mean, you have years and years of incremental people trying, even like, VR, they're still trying version after version. It's not going to suddenly one day and then we have this perfectly working VR oasis everybody's in. You have years and years of the versions where it almost works and you get to think about it and you get to try it. And the problems are also, we have early versions of the problems. So there isn't this, so we have time to socially adjust to it. And if we don't like what we're seeing, we don't make more of it. And so I think the idea that there's kind of the sudden appearance of technology that works in its intended way and then is against all human values is like that's just not going to happen. There's who's funding this and the 20 years of development that it'll take. It doesn't make economic sense.